Welcome to Prediction Market Movers. My name's Chris Gerlacher. I'm here with Prediction News, and we've got Evie here with us. We got Ox Ginger Girl here with us. How you doing, Evie?
I'm good. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing great. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for
We're gonna
inviting.
absolutely. We're gonna hit the industry. We're gonna talk about her company that she's founding, and we're gonna get underneath the badge wars a little bit and see what's happening in the industry underneath all the hype. If you're here with us, like this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Prediction News and follow us on X at Prediction News. Evie, I want to start with how you got into prediction markets. I know you originally come from crypto. You're originally a YouTuber back in the day. Why'd you settle on prediction markets and really think this is the next big thing to be a part of?
Well, I would say like my background was I built a dating app. So I really wanted to continue that. And I had this like whole crazy idea of building like a dating stock exchange. And the more I was like thinking about this idea, the more I was running into legal issues. And then I found this thing called prediction markets. And I was like, why don't we just like bet on people breaking up and getting together? So then I started researching it more and more and more. And I saw this like really big opportunity and problem, and at the same time is that all of these prediction markets didn't have that many culture markets, and it was like mostly very, very male skewed. And so I started researching all of that, and I realized like where it's coming from, and that the most volume is controlled by politics and sports. And I made a tweet where I wrote that, hey, like, how do we bring women in? We need more culture markets. And I think Joinng reposted it, and it kind of went viral. And then just people started like DMing me every day of like, hey, what do we do? And all of a sudden I become this prediction market women market expert because everybody's asking my opinion. And I just started looking into researching it and completely like changed my business idea and kind of stayed in the prediction market space because I realized how big of an opportunity it is and how much it can actually impact and change the world.
Very cool. So it was a mix between the business you were founding and the community that you found very quickly. I mean, how long ago did you make that post?
It was like 4 months ago. I think that I was looking for any voices in prediction. Honestly, at that time, I didn't even didn't know that any influencers existed. And when I wrote that post, I was trying to find other influencers in the space, and I found Joinng and Doma. I think that's his his like handle. And they were writing something about it. And then I would like go on like a couple of like streams, like live Twitter streams where people would talk, and like very rarely they would mention something about prediction markets. And I was pretty much trying to find anything where they touch any points of prediction markets. And it was like so small. And it's so funny to say that it was like 4 months ago when there was literally nobody. And right now everybody's a prediction market influencer.
Yeah, it's amazing how the influencer space has grown in the short months just after Polymarket gets a lot of attention during the 2024 election. Kalshi wins its election contract lawsuit. There's just this outpouring of prediction market content that's followed some of those big mainstream victories for the platforms.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I was just like writing a tweet a couple of days ago. It's like met this guy in San Francisco, and he was like, "Oh, how long have you been in prediction markets?" I'm like, 4 months. Like at the time, 3 months. He's like, "Oh, I've been longer." I'm like, "How much?" He's like, 4. I'm like,
right.
It's a joke.
Yeah. And then going back to the company you founded, what made you so excited about the dating idea? Because that's been a constant thread throughout the iterations of your product.
Yeah, well, right now it has nothing to do with dating, although we can incorporate any dating shows. I wanted to build it because I built this dating app, and I wanted to kind of stay in the industry because I just had so much research and data for that. But what I'm building with XO and XO Live, it's basically prediction market betting markets for live streams. And if you think about it right now, there may be like 1% of markets published each day on like the big prediction markets we know is live content and live stream content that you can bet on. And there's like 20 million different live streams happening every single day. Like think about, you could bet on, a live professional poker player game on whether they're bluffing or not, or if you could, bet on a dating show and bet on whether they're going to mention their exes or not. Or like your favorite gamer going to the next level of the game. Like there's just so many opportunities to make these like small little, I call them ADHD bets.
Yeah. Now, micro betting is something that the sports betting industry has been chasing for a long time. The bookmakers have a hard time pricing, how many yards is this specific play going to, get? And prediction markets are just these, kind of, they're unmatched in live betting. So it's really cool to see somebody start to take advantage of that opportunity in live streams. Take us through, if you would, all of the pivots you've done from, the original idea to where you've gotten now, because it's even changed since, I was scrolling through your X feed this morning.
No, I haven't like published anything on Twitter. I'm like haven't like done anything there for a really long time. But it started as, at first it was supposed to be like a matchmaking company where we issue a number of the match and people can predict whether it's going to be a good match or bad match. But then I was like, there's no game psychology behind it, because there's no game psychology on betting behind a number, like after a number. Then another idea was to bet on whether they're going to break up or be together. Then I was like, I'm going to get so much backlash. And then T-App came around that time. I was like, okay, I'm out of that as well. Right. And then like my last idea was, I'm just basically going to create these in-house shows like Netflix, and like to prevent insider trading, like get like all the phones away so they have no access to the markets, and issue markets. So it would be like a dating show where people can go on a date, and we issue a market that goes like, oh, well, they were the same drink, or will they mention their exes, or will she answer the question in the card? Kind of like everything you watch on a YouTube, but you can actually bet on it. And then I saw this like bigger picture of, hey, but there are so many live streams happening every single day. Why not create a market for all of that, like instead of just producing these shows? And hopefully I still want to do like a show. I still really want to do the pilot of the dating show, because so many people are asking me about it. So I'm working on that, but I would like to build this platform for all the live streams you can ever imagine. You can make a market on it.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. And what was the game psychology piece exactly that was missing from the early versions of the idea?
Yeah, so the problem where I was doing like the dating thing, it was like almost like a prediction market where you just issue the number of the match. And here you people don't really like, people bet on sports because they're your favorite team, because they will research where this team slept the last week, where they were training, what traumas they had. They will go the extra mile to research all of that to make their bet and put their money on it.
They're invested.
Yeah, exactly. So here you don't really, these are random people. Why would you invest in that? So I thought about live streaming. Like, I grew up watching YouTube all the time. I would be obsessed with these creators, and I would buy whatever they would sell me. And, like right now we're thinking about, bringing women to prediction markets. Well, live streaming is like 30% women. And most of the women actually are the ones that earn all the gifts and everything that subscribers are giving to them. So it is a paid industry, and there's a really big loop. And another thing, like from my personal, like what I'm trying to fix with this is markets on Polymarket or Kalshi or any other prediction market that I've seen, they resolve, in a longer period of time. I know they've like put out some markets that are like 15-minute markets on crypto or something like that. But like most of the like big bets, you can bet on something and see your money in a year or a couple of months. So, and these markets also happen before an event, even if it's like a mentioned market of like what Taylor Swift's going to say, these markets appear like a couple of weeks before the actual show. So what I'm trying to do is this market appears with the stream happening. So there's a stream, there's a market, and it resolves a couple of hours after. So it's a really fast ADHD way to make money, and also have edge in the game to bet on somebody who you're watching anyways and following anyways.
Yeah, no, there's a betting integrity or a market integrity piece of that as well. I mean, there's not a lot of, market manipulation you can do, at least in theory, when, you all have the same information all at the same time. I mean, unless you might be a follower of these streams over time, but, for the most part, the most crucial information live is, offered during the stream. Is that the idea?
Yeah. And think about it right now. Like we have, let's say not streams, but reality shows. Like you can bet on the winner of Survivor. You can bet on, which couples of Love is Blind are going to get married. But that's technically, some people have insider information because, if I'm a crew member or anyone in the team or a best friend of one of the girls, I already know who won or what happened, but it's not insider trading because they've never signed an NDA. I mean, if I'm a best friend of a girl, and yet I can trade it. So here it's kind of like these fast markets, where when you're a streamer, I don't like think you would go and manipulate it. Possibly it could happen, but like, especially if you're someone big like Mr. Big, like why would you do that? You make so much money, like,
Right.
and yeah, and it's a really fast way of like, oh, I spotted something, or oh, I noticed something. And I think like it's going to be a really big play with AI. That's something I'm trying to do and like implement it, is because I don't see a lot of like prediction markets using, AI in-house, like maybe like tools for prediction markets, but not in-house. And that's something I wanna try implementing and working on when I'm building it.
No, how do you envision AI being used in your product, in your company?
Yeah, I think like how I'm trying to use it is that people can issue this, let's say, live stream to our like markets AI, and it comes up with like, let's say, market ideas from like previous shows or things that could potentially happen or
Oh, like
resolve.
market
For the
generator.
oracle. Yeah, like market generator. But and I know that like a couple of prediction markets are using something like that. Obviously, we would have someone in-house to approve this or disapprove this. So there could be like an oracle that actually like
Yeah.
resolves the market.
But you want to keep that human layer.
Yeah, for starters, definitely. But yeah, I think it would be a really cool way to implement AI and also create these markets, because then you can create unlimited amount of markets. Of course, then there comes the liquidity problem, but that's a
One thing
problem.
at a time.
Yeah, one thing at a time.
Great. So do you think that, whoever is reviewing the generated markets will be picking out what are the most, probably obvious high volume ones at the beginning?
Yeah, I think we would probably not focus on something like, oh, will she say the number 7 in the next 5 minutes or something
Right.
like that.
This
I
can be a
think we'd
6-7 stream,
Yeah, I think we should like, for starters, there are a couple of like metrics you can just measure very simply with the help of AI or a human touch, which is like, will she or he get to a certain viewpoint in the next like 20 minutes? Like, will she hit 5K views? Or will he lose the game or win the game or change the skin of his avatar or something like that? Something
Right.
that you just spot immediately. And therefore, our system wouldn't have to go through every single word, or, and then people could speculate like, oh, she said that, but you didn't notice that. So maybe stay away from mention markets for now, but like something like that would be fun. I mean, if I'm watching a live stream, while I'm doing the dishes or cleaning the house, and I can make like $5 or $10 on like betting on whether she's going to hit like more views. It's a cool opportunity.
Yeah. So it seems like being rewarded for the edge you can find intellectually is really important to you in the prediction market space. Why? Can you tell us why everything should be kind of financialized or turn into a prediction market as they become offered on everything?
Yeah, I think it's not so much that's important that it's a prediction market. I think it's more of that it's a truth engine. Actually, maybe it should be called a truth engine market. I think what is happening right now is that, it's no secret that so many of the news are controlled by very wealthy people or, higher entities. And there are a lot of news that are not being issued specifically because of that. And I think like, it's going to be a controversial opinion, but prediction markets is the closest that we've been to democracy, because people actually have the voice and can back it up with real money. So, if you put like at least $1 behind your opinion, it already makes it more like valid. So in industries that we have like fashion, health, beauty, music, and all the other like culture industries that, prediction markets might come in as a player. Right now, all of these trends are made by celebrities or big companies that are setting these trends of like, oh, this is going to be the color of the year, or you're going to wear it, or this and that and that. And these like smaller businesses and people with opinions on like Reddit groups kind of are put to the other side. So I think if like companies implement prediction markets into their like even fashion, it could really change how it shifts and people opinion shifts and like what becomes the real big next thing. Like I just had this idea of like, okay, what if we do a point system? What if we create let's ASOS, the clothes shopping website, let's say if they issue like a prediction market of what do you think is going to be the most popular items in the next week, and then you can bet on it, and if you win, maybe you get like a couple of points that you can, you know, get a discount for your next purchase. People would be more interested in putting their opinion towards it, because if they can win, they also get a reward. And, you know, right now that way it means that not only are we controlled by the mass media and all of these big companies that determine what are we going to wear, what's going to be the trend, what should we put in our bodies, but people can do that from their personal experiences and, you know, their edge.
So you're really looking to democratize trend setting, let, you know, anyone bottom up create trends instead of, you know, having them given to you by companies, brands, celebrities.
Well, yeah, I mean, like right now it's already happening. There are like influencers, right, who come up with something, but most of these influencers are also paid by really big brands. So it's like, and then everybody has a different experience. So I'm just thinking like, what if, you know, it's not like, oh, I issue something on a prediction market, it's going to become popular. There's also a really big risk of failure. But that's why we have this wisdom of the crowds, that people can like, you know, shift the odds towards yes or no. And that proves like kind of the point of whether it's going to happen or not. So I think a lot of industries could implement that, especially like smaller industries, to predict certain things that will happen or won't happen.
Okay. So are you imagining companies using prediction markets or prediction markets existing kind of in their own bubble and then influencing what happens elsewhere?
I think it's definitely going to be a both side kind of thing. I think that, you know, prediction markets can already implement companies. I mean, they can put a market and say like, oh, will this fashion company go IPO, XYZ, right? They're allowed to do that. And that definitely obviously implements, I mean, like the sales of the company, or it can like shift whether this company or the trend is going to go viral or not. But I think that companies will implement prediction markets. Maybe they won't create like a specific prediction market for a brand, but they will implement the tools of prediction markets or predicting certain things for their like e-commerce websites or their marketing strategies. I totally see that happening.
Good. And what frictions are there for women in the industry who, you know, maybe they don't come from poker, betting, some of the traditional rails that bring people to prediction markets, but I mean, what is still kind of stopping women outside of those fields from really diving into prediction markets the way you have?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, like at the start of this live, that I wrote this tweet about how we need more culture markets, and that's kind of how I came into the prediction markets at all. Well, actually, I would like to take my opinion back.
Really?
Yes, I would like to take it back. I have studied game psychology enough in this past 4 months. And what I came up with is that it's actually not you build it and they will come,
Right.
you know, like in the movie Field of Dreams, because we have a very different game psychology. If you think about it, women don't like rarely will play poker or very high risk games. What they enjoy is bingo or slot machines. And that comes from a game psychology, because for women, putting money or betting comes with relaxation, safety, entertainment, and the feel of like community. Whether for men, it's like high risk, high reward, you know?
Right.
And so when we're thinking about prediction markets, like it's, you know, like, okay, they're going to issue like 100 culture markets. I'm not going to go magically one day wake up and going to go and bet. Like it's not going to happen like that. So if I was a prediction market, that's like a big prediction market, and I would want to go towards women, I would think of a couple of things. Number one, UX. Because right now, when we go to any of these like big prediction markets, we look at all the limit orders and everything. It's like a very financial UX, like people who have background in finance or have done something like trading in the past, they understand it. And it's like very proven, because like most of the volume is like the biggest volumes are controlled by the professional poker players and TradFi people still to this day. So I would think about UX. How do we do something so simple that anyone, women or anyone from the Web 2, like comes in and understands what they're doing, right? So that's number one. Number two, I would definitely go after the Web 2 audience for women, not so much Web3, because, you know, the crypto space that I've seen, like, there are a couple of women that are doing something in the crypto space, and then we have the pretty KOLs posting gym selfies. and that's definitely, like, I think, like, getting the Web2 audience of, like, people who consume media and news every single day, like the loud voices in Reddit groups, the women that, you know, speak out, like, give them an opportunity to back their opinions with money. Maybe they won't even get, like, even more opinions. And number 3, I would go towards a specific community instead of just targeting everyone and everywhere. I mean, like, right now, you know, Polymarketer Culture, they're targeting specific groups of, like, oh, we're going to go after, you know, traders that have traded on other platforms to onboard them. Or, oh, we're going to go after, you know, gamers or previous gamblers, you know. And I think they should do the same thing with, like, women. Is like, actually, like, that's maybe funny to you, but, you know, they've issued so many Taylor Swift markets. Why don't they just choose a group of Swifties and onboard them and be like, hey, you can actually predict what's going to happen with Taylor Swift. Why don't you tell that to all of your friends? Onboard a specific group of people that are passionate about something, so they start betting, and that will onboard them to make more trades and more bets and onboard more, like, other women, like, going towards something like that. So those would be, like, my suggestions.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, prediction markets thrive on, you know, these really niche topics where, you know, lots of different people can find edges, and you know, targeting similar niche communities in that way just seems to make a lot of sense.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, like, if I would target, like, Swifties, I even, like, when I was betting on Taylor Swift markets, I went on Reddit groups and I would, like, write, hey, what do you think she's going to say? so that, like, you know, keeps the
And
ball
did they
rolling.
give you an edge?
They blocked me, but I asked other.
There's a way to go that. Yeah.
We know you're not a real Swiftie. No, I asked a couple of my friends after that listen to Taylor Swift and they're, like, big fans.
And were they helpful?
They were very helpful. Yeah, I won most of my mention market bets.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
yeah.
I've had some early success in the Trump mention markets, but we'll see how long that continues for. Any more than 2
My
markets.
favorite are no mention markets.
Oh, you like the nose? Why do you like the nose?
Well, I mean, it's easier to predict that they're not going to say something that rather than they're going to say something. I mean,
Really?
like, I talked about it I was on a stream, like, last week, and I said that it's interesting that, you know, like, if there's someone like Trump, like a public figure that, like, doesn't care of what he's saying, like, he can, you know, yap, and there are so many, like, opportunities for him to say yes on, like, so many words, because he has, like, he doesn't care about media training. Like, he just says whatever is on his mind, right? Whether there's someone like Taylor Swift who has a 30-minute, like, live, she needs to think about the airtime and how much she can say during that. She needs to promote her product, say XYZ, and, like, cover all the topics. So there are not really that many words she can say. So I think, like, for, like, celebrities that don't go on these shows, or like South Park or something, that, you know, you can't really, there's, like, a script per se. I would go for the no mention market strategy. And for someone like Trump or Powell or anyone who doesn't care, I would just go for the yes mention market strategy.
Yeah, that's what I was doing on Trump. He said either Fat Shot or Ozempic in September, and I made $57 off of that. So
money.
Never know what he's gonna say. But
with him you really don't know.
Yeah, but it is interesting that there's this, you know, split in how you would approach a mention market, depending on whether you're, you know, watching an off the cuff speaker, or whether it's, you know, somebody who's media trained and really polished.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And you had this really cool moment that I wanted to ask you about. Early on, and when you're on X and you're starting to become an influencer, you get a DM from Shane Copeland.
Oh, right? Yeah.
That was so crazy. Does that feel like when you get pinged on X, you look in your messages and there's the CEO of Polymarket?
I think that was the time when I literally only knew of, I said, Joinng and Doma, like the two influencers.
Those are your two.
Those are the two only people I was following in the space. And then obviously I knew who Shane was. And I think I started posting these videos. When you, like, scroll really, like, back to my Twitter, you can see these videos of me comparing dating to prediction markets, like explaining prediction markets and dating terms. That'd be like hedging. That's when you have two boyfriends in two different cities. And he, I think, saw those videos because he was like, I love your prediction market explanations. You know, let's see how we can work together. And I think I had like a mini heart attack moment of what's happening. Yeah, that was really, really cool. But I think he like, you know, when I kind of posted that tweet about him writing me, I think it kind of started a trend, and so many people started posting tweets of him like DMing them. And I think
it started with you.
I think I was one of the first people that posted that. Yeah. And then so many people started posting that, and I was like, okay, that just proves how good of a CEO he is, that he cares and like does his research, and is also like inspiring for me as a founder to like reach out to, you know, a bunch of people and ask for their opinions to build a better product. Because at the end of the day, like your product is built on people's opinions.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess I don't have to ask you why you took the Polymarket badge then.
Yeah, I mean, it's the badge wars have been a crazy season.
Yeah, what do you think if you're coming to the industry and you just see the bull posting and the Kalshi Polymarket badge wars, and what do you think is being missed that's happening, you know, in the meat of the industry underneath all the hype and social media stuff?
I think that what I've seen, like the Twitter space is a pretty hateful space. Like we've seen that before. And, you know, let's all remember that 4 months ago, there was nobody in the space that were like influencers. So the fact that a lot of these creators are under these badges, writing a lot of stuff. I'm not saying they don't understand what they're talking about. Like neither did I like 3 months ago, but I'm just saying like, it's also an opportunity for a lot of people to get hype. So sometimes like, you know, you have to, as a viewer, you have to check all these things and like figure out who you want to follow and for what. Regarding the hate, I think that what I don't like is that, you know, these two platforms are obviously in a war, and they're trying to, and these like people that have been working with these platforms for maybe like a month or two are going against each other, which I think is not a really cool way to do it, because I joined prediction markets because I love the concept of prediction markets, not because I was, you know, leaning towards a specific company. I wanted to expand. I wanted to build something, and I think it's an incredibly cool thing. And we're so early. So I feel like it would be cooler if people were more passionate about a prediction market as a concept, not so much as like, we're better or like F you because you did that and blah, blah, blah. What I think is cool about the badge things is that it's if you follow these people with badges, it's a very easy way for you to notice the news first. Because we as creators, we have this like groups, and I assume like both platforms have it, where we just get sent like, hey, something happened, there's something new you can tweet about, like just giving us ideas for content. So I think it's a really good way to like for distribution of news, of like following these creators and being like, oh, okay, like I can spot something, which also can help your like trading journey. And yeah, I think like it's going to, I mean, like I've never seen something like that in my life on crypto Twitter or anywhere ever, where, you know, this like badge war thing happens, where like all of a sudden we have like 50 random people with badges, and they're like, you know, badges flying everywhere, and you get a badge and you get a badge, and which team are you playing? And these are like, it's just very interesting. And I think that for everybody, me included, I have a badge, but I think for everybody in the space, we have to understand the real reason why we're here. And it's because like we're very early at a very, very cool thing. And and we should all focus, like people with badges or no badges, we should all focus on educating and onboarding more people. And that's the most important thing, is not so much as the war or proving who's better or who has a cooler, you know, trading profile or something like that, but just like bringing more people to the space, because if we bring more people to the space, that's what these companies are profiting off. And that's what is important for us as creators, as KOLs, or whatever you want to call it, to educate these people and bring them to prediction markets and explain why is that important and how that could impact the world.
Yeah, so staying really mission focused, yeah, that's real important to you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my mission from the first day was to bring more women in. I'm trying to do that still.
Right. Well, it's definitely a long process.
Yeah. Well, in education.
Yeah. I mean, what else are you hoping to see out of prediction market platforms as they innovate? Are there features or markets or tweaks that you want to see, problems you want to see solved in the operational side of the industry?
I wish that we could focus more on a better UX. I think that it would be cool if there was, like we have dark theme and like light theme, like white theme.
Oh, on the iPhone?
Yeah, and also on prediction markets, like prediction, like most prediction markets allow you to choose between a dark theme or like white theme. I really would be really cool if there was like a easy mode and hard mode.
Okay, yeah.
Like, do you want to trade this market? I mean, you can like do market orders and limit orders, and then, but still, like, even if you do market orders, there's like this whole screen of like order book that might confuse a lot of people.
Or the order terms, right?
Yeah, order terms and all that. I just think it would be really cool that there was like, I think like Manifold is a great way to start because it's like fake money markets. So that's like cool and good to experiment. But I wish like these platforms would also have something like that where you kind of don't get scared by all the numbers and everything, because the first experience is the most important experience. Like, it's your first impression. So it would be cool if there was like an easy mode for people that are just starting, or maybe there's like an AI agent that's kind of almost like guiding you. Like, like they sometimes like, hey, click this if you want to do that, or this if you want to do that. Like, right now I go to these platforms and I am assumed like to understand everything, which I don't. So it's like, it would be
they're still drawing on the language of finance.
Yeah, exactly. So it would be cool if there was like a guide or something like that, which I'm trying to do through my socials. And like, I guess from a perspective of, you asked me like, what do you want with prediction markets to happen? How about I turn this question a little bit and say, what do I hope it's not going to happen?
Also a good question.
Like, as I said, like, I think with prediction markets, it's the closest we've been to democracy. I really hope that we're going to keep that, and we're going to keep this for the people and for the opinions, and it's going to like really like allow people to back their opinion with money, and it's not going to be influenced by anything higher and bigger than that. Because if you think about it, voting is free. Everybody has opinions. There's so many groups of people going on Reddit or TikTok and putting these loud opinions out. Now there's an opportunity to back your opinions, to actually put a price on your opinion and shift the odds towards a specific, yes or no. And that can determine of, how the world's going to change. So I really hope that, I think like this prediction market is a great tool for us to, back our opinions up and have an opinion in the first place.
Right. So you don't want the whales to, come in and take over and start manipulating or skewing markets on, kind of big important outcomes.
I mean, that's just the part of an experience. I mean, they have an opinion too.
Now it's have $12 billion.
Some do have bigger opinions than others.
I am a fan of position limits in certain markets, or not in certain markets, in markets more broadly. But yeah, I mean, this was man, we covered a lot. It's been really cool to catch back up after San Francisco and go through your thoughts on the industry. Where can people follow you if they want to keep up with what you're writing?
Yeah, probably the best place is X. This is my X, 0x Ginger Girl. And then I also have a YouTube channel where I post like lifestyle stuff, but also trading on prediction markets and a couple of educational videos. That's NYC Ginger Girl. Nice. I know I don't look very ginger right now, but it's summer.
No, I was talking to another redheaded friend of mine about this. We are constantly telling people, there are shades of red besides Annie.
Yeah.
Right. There's this whole spectrum of red. I mean, I'm red. I'm darker because I had to, hide from the sun in Colorado. But
to my defense, I've been photographed by the photographer that has a book 100 gingers.
Oh, really?
Yes. So, to my defense.
So your credentials are locked down.
I'm locked down. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Well, Evie, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thanks so much for inviting me.
Sure. If you're here with us, like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Prediction News, and follow us on X at Prediction News, and go follow Evie, because her content is really great. She's one of the great thinkers in the space right now.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.